But the Jewish people will not come in until the fullness of the Gentiles, right, have been fulfilled.
Beautiful.
So
you are just cutting yourself.
Wait. So if the Jewish people, the black Hebrews, are the what's called the
Children of Israel.
the children of Israel, it means they have no access to salvation until the Gentiles have come in. And when they come in, it is the Jewish people, these black Jews, that will face the tribulation. Because the Jews have not yet accepted Jesus as the Messiah, as their Lord, and as their deliverer. So any black person that claims to be a Hebrew and believe in this, then one, the curse of the death of Christ is upon them, and they will not gain salvation until the fullness of the Gentiles, because they don't see themselves as the Gentiles, right? So the Gentiles, until the whole world have come in before they will come into the kingdom. So
to
that is
add
what
to
I'm trying to say.
that.
But you let
No, he wants to add now.
You
Let's
believe
add.
we are not a slave to the law. Rather, we are no more a slave to the law. Do you believe that?
I don't understand your. Do we believe we don't what?
We are not a slave law. The law of what do you call it?
which law you're talking about?
I'm talking about the Old Testament, law of Moses.
Yeah.
We are not a slave for the law now. We are under grace through Christ.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
We believe that.
You won't believe that?
One second. We believe that.
Yeah.
However, we need to clarify what we believe in that. I will show you. I will tell you why. When you say we are under grace, what does grace teach us? Please. Let's see what, because grace have its own lesson as well. Just as righteousness have its own lesson, the law have its own lesson. The grace of Christ that we are under, it teaches us something very important we need to go into.
This is the book of Titus.
So the grace you ask is a good point, but let's see what grace teaches us.
What grace say
Titus what?
2.
No.
The book of Titus chapter 2 verse 11.
What grace teaches us?
For the grace of God,
The grace of God is the grace of Christ.
that bringeth salvation,
That brings salvation. That's what we believe
hath
in.
appeared to all
They
men,
appear to all men.
teaching us
What does grace teach us?
that denying ungodliness.
What does it mean to deny ungodliness? What is ungodliness?
You tell me.
Good point. So, okay, Brother Jacob.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25.
So grace teaches us to deny ungodliness. So let's see what ungodliness is.
The book,
Quote it before you.
okay, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 25.
Yeah, please.
And it shall be our
It
righteousness
shall be our righteousness
if we observe
if we observe.
to do all these
1
commandments.
second. The word do is an action word. You don't just say it and leave it there. You have to practice it. To do
All these commandments.
all these commandments
before the Lord our God,
before the Lord our God,
as He hath commanded us.
as He has commanded us. So we know that the commandment that was given us by Moses, right, is an everlasting commandment. How do we know that? Because it's righteous. What did He say in the beginning? He says it shall be our righteousness. So what is the righteousness of God? Is it for only one generation and it ends? So
Okay,
let's go to the
go.
book of Psalm
Let me see.
119.
Go here. This
Okay,
one,
yeah,
this
okay,
area,
go.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Teaching us that denying ungodliness
So when we deny ungodliness, we will hold on to righteousness.
and unworldly lust,
And worldly lust is part of breaking the commandments.
we should be soberly, righteously,
We should be soberly righteous. So for you to be righteous, you have to keep the commandments.
and godly.
And godly, what does it mean to be godly? The law is godly, right? Go on.
In this in this
I'm
present
not preaching, I'm
world.
teaching.
In
So
this
in
present-
this present world. So in this present world, we must be righteous. We must deny ungodliness. We must be righteous according to the Bible. So what makes one righteousness is the law. Only the law can make you righteous. In fact, let's even prove to you that the law is so perfect, it makes us righteous.
Okay,
Let's go, brother.
You don't need interpreting what they are.
I'm not interpreting
That's
anything.
your understanding.
Really?
We have found.
Where did I get it from, brother?
No. It's the word of God you get it from. That's your understanding.
So my understanding means.
Maybe it may be different from mine.
Brother, calm down, brother, wait one second, brother. Wait, 1 second, brother, calm down. No, I'm not saying you're shy. Calm down, let's dialogue. Let's dialogue. When we just read about our righteousness right now, where did we read it from?
Deuteronomy 6:25.
So we just read righteousness in Deuteronomy 25. So, brother, let me ask you a question. How long is the righteousness of the Most High for? How long?
How long? It's forever.
So, what is Titus saying? It's forever.
It's forever. How do you read that from? Read it from where?
Read it again. Read it again. Read it again.
The New
brother.
Testament.
Brother, read it again.
That's the word New Testament based on.
Read it again.
Okay, the book of Titus, listen.
Listen again.
Titus chapter 2, verse 11.
Let's see where Titus get this from.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men, Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, teaching us that denying ungodliness, unrighteousness, and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
Brother, what is the present word?
So many things. It's a parable. So many. Can you count these world things now?
Brother, are we in the present world?
Only now, of course, we are.
So if we are in the present world, does the law of the Most High apply in the present world?
Yes, it's up.
So why are you not keeping the law that applies in the present
law
world?
like what?
Like removing your caps to honor Christ, Yahweh Shai.
Listen to me. You see, like me, if I'm preaching, I take my heart there.
Good.
With a reason.
Why do you take your heart?
Where did I take it?
Yes. Is it according to the Bible
me,
or according to your own
let me tell
feelings?
you.
Okay.
I control my Holy Spirit.
So Holy Spirit tells you to control.
Hold on. I'm saying who? Me.
I know it's about you. I know.
So if I'm preaching, whatever I hear Spirit tell me to do, that will not to please you, not to please anyone.
Let's see if the Spirit also says we should have a beard or not. Let's see what the Spirit says.
So, beard, we comment about this. We comment about this before.
Right?
You tell me this about beard, me and you.
Brother.
We discussed it about many times before about beard.
Brother David, can you come in a little bit? Brother David, look at this, brother.
To hear a beard or have a beard don't make you rattle.
Okay. What did you
That
say?
is yours.
To have a beard or not have a beard, it didn't make you righteous.
What you
The
just
book
asked-
of Leviticus chapter 19 verse
Brother,
27.
1 second. Let's answer his question, then we'll come to him.
The book of Leviticus.
Brother,
It is your turn.
now you want to run away.
No.
So let's
We
go.
are going before the party.
Okay, but you say you have time. Let's go,
The
brother.
book of Leviticus chapter 19 verse 27.
Okay?
Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall thou merge the corners of the beard.
So, brother, 1 second. Is that the word of the Holy Spirit?
Let me tell you something.
1 second. No.
He mentioned so many things. If he dead.
Wait. What we just read now,
Wait.
If he dead.
brother,
Oh, you are in special.
you are in error.
Don't shave.
Go to Matthew 5:17.
Don't shave.
Well, we
Matthew 5:17.
moved away from the point I raised.
Brother, what I'm
When
trying
I
to
was
say,
saying,
brother,
When now-
wait, 1 second,
See,
1 second,
I was
brother,
saying
1
important.
second.
Come in.
Can you wait 1 second?
Understand importance.
Wait 1 second. Are we,
Because it
brotherly,
is.
1 second, 1 second. The law of the Lord is what is everlasting law, right? Are we still moving to everlasting? Everlasting stopped yesterday. So now let's read the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17, please.
The book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 17.
This is from the mouth of our master that we say we love, right? Let's read.
Think not that I come to destroy the law
Don't even imagine that I've come to destroy the law
or the prophets.
or the prophets.
I am not come to destroy,
I'm not come to touch any of those things. What
But
I've come
to
do-
fulfill.
But to fulfill. Right, go on.
for verily I say unto you,
For verily, that means certainly I say unto you,
till heaven and earth pass away,
I know
till heaven and earth pass,
we know
heaven
it.
is here, we are standing on earth. What we have,
one jot and one tittle,
one jot is just like a little dot, a title is a comma,
and shall no wise pass from the law,
shall no wise pass from the law.
till all be
Till
fulfilled.
all be fulfilled. So, wait 1 second, brother. So, wait 1 second. If you are on earth,
Your beard,
and the Bible says till heaven and earth pass, one law and one jot and one title shall no wise pass. Why are you brothers not keeping your beard to honor the Most
What
High?
are the gifts of the Holy Spirit?
Yes.
Before we give to the
No, what are the
wait,
gifts of the Holy Spirit? And
will-
the fruits of the Holy
we
Spirit?
will get there. We will get
No,
there.
you see, we are
Wait.
moving. Let us go back. Do you know by claiming what you claim, you've actually claimed a curse upon yourself?
Oh, you say a curse.
Yes.
Why is it a curse?
Okay,
Why is it a curse? Why is it a curse?
When Jesus was going to Calvary, when Jesus being condemned, the people, the Hebrews, your brethren at that time declared, let his blood be upon us
What do you
and
understand by
upon
that?
my
What do you
children.
understand by that?
So the consequences of Christ's death, because they betrayed him, the Hebrew betrayed him, the high priest betrayed him, and they handed him
John
over to
chapter
die.
1.
Right? And he
As many
said,
as
and when
Okay.
even Pilate said, this man is innocent, the Jewish people said, let his blood be upon us and upon our children.
Read
And
John chapter
this-
1 verse
do you
12.
believe
Sorry,
that's
you wanted to say
do you believe that is generational? Is it continued or has it stopped?
That
So
Well,
what about the apostles?
No, wait.
No, were the apostles included?
But they accepted Jesus. A lot of the Hebrews do not
Go to
accept
John-
Jesus
go
as
to
their
John
Lord.
So the descendants of the apostles,
They
wouldn't,
accept. If you
wouldn't be under it.
There you go.
The
If you
descend-
accept Jesus as your Lord
you
and your
go.
Redeemer, accepting that His blood
Brother,
has
Yeah.
washed
brother,
you,
let's read
His
it.
blood has washed your sins
Because
away.
if you use your own words,
because
they
in
will
the
come
book of,
against you,
the
but
book
if
of
you use the Bible, they
Revelation,
will never come
He
against
said, you know,
mean,
He who have washed us of our sin in His blood, right? And then He said, and have made us priests and kingdom of His God and Father. To
Okay.
Him be glory. So whoever believes in Him, accept Him as the Messiah. Remember, the Jewish people up to today, they still live by the Tanakh. They still do not accept Jesus as their Lord and Savior.
But you mean the fake Jews, though?
Yeah, fake Jews.
Yeah.
No, but the black Jews, a lot of them still do not accept Jesus. They said He is not the Son of God. He is not born of a virgin. That Joseph is his father. So any of that statement means
Okay,
we do
okay,
not
yeah,
accept
yeah,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
same belief had the Jewish people. So the
All right.
curse is upon them.
Yeah.
And according to the next one when they said it, when Paul said, Paul said,
when you are saying something, be careful what you're saying, because
Well,
you just
no,
quoted
wait,
something
wait.
in the book of
Said
Revelation.
Paul,
One
Paul
second.
said-
You just quote something in the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 9. Wait, chapter 5, verse 9 and 10. But can you tell me where that came from?
Don't change the subject.
What?
Wait,
Can you
brother.
tell us?
No,
Because if you are
that
quoting
came-
something
Revelation
and
is
you don't know the origin of what you're
Revelation-
quoting, you will
Revelation
make
is
error.
revelation of
Because
Jesus.
when you say
Let me
that,
finish. Let me
when you
tell
say
you where it
that the
comes
blood
from.
of Christ has made us priests and kings and priests, it came from the book of Exodus, chapter 19, verse 5 to 6. What did it say in chapter verse 5?
Okay.
Let's read what it says. How are we
From
made
what-
Do
priests
you
and
confess
kings?
Jesus as your Lord?
This is what you always
you
ask.
always
you
do.
know where?
How do you do that?
How do
Do you confess Jesus
How
as
do
your
you?
Lord and
How
Savior?
do you?
Answer that question.
One second.
Have you?
How do you get born again?
I say, have you?
How
Do
do
you
you
confess
get born
Jesus as
again?
your Lord and Savior?
Yes
Brother,
or no?
you.
How
Yes
do-
or
no,
I'm
no?
not going to answer
Once
you.
again, how do you
Yes
get
or
born
no?
again? How do you get born again? You see?
You see, the blood they
They
used to
always
run.
run.
You are not
They
doing
always
it.
Wait,
run.
wait.
They always
Wait,
run.
wait,
You see
wait.
that?
It is said.
They always run.
Proverbs 28. What is that? Proverbs 28. Proverbs 28.
21 1.
28.
I've got an issue.
28.
It is my love for my black brother.
Okay, yeah.
When I was reading this, I realized the black people
Of
were
course, of course.
How do you receive it?
How do you receive it?
How do
Teach
you
me.
receive
Teach
it?
me how-
Not because
Why are you running away? Teach me how can I?
He
No,
have
no,
a
no,
question
no.
for you.
Teach me how can I accept Christ? How teach us, teach us.
He have a question for you. That's why he's asking you. Reply so that you ask you the
Yes, you take Christ
I
for.
tell him.
Brother Ali.
When I was reading this type of thing, and I was saying,
Having beard,
that is your own opinion,
he
brother.
don't take you to heaven.
You know, that is your
Righteousness.
This is a brother, you know. You see, everyone have it.
It's part of commandments.
Righteousness.
What is righteousness?
Righteousness.
What is righteousness?
It's to keep the command.
Yes.
Well, the right
Commandments of God. So why are you not keeping the beard?
Apostle Paul told us about even eating pork or not pork and all those.
Okay.
Don't make, listen to it.
Let me ask you a question. Did Christ have beard? Yes or no?
He have a beard.
So why are you not doing that?
Yes. Now what I'm saying is that if I
Say
have
yes,
a beard,
but what he's saying
yes,
is that.
he is.
But if Christ has a
Christ
beard,
had
and
it.
brother, are you listening to what we're saying?
we saw.
If
Are you a
has
Christ
beard,
follower?
Yeah, I have a
and it's
beard.
part of the law,
I have a
and
If
you
you
wear
follow
beards,
Christ,
why
why is it that you are
a
not
follower
having
of
beard?
Christ? Why are you not having beards? You are in the error. You're following man's religion.
God don't make you righteousness now.
He does,
Even
because
the Bible tells us that
What
beard
Bible-
with righteousness. The beard with
Did
righteousness.
Christ break any law? Did Christ, wait 1 second, did Christ break any law You see, it's not. They don't answer Christ.
With righteousness.
You only say
Even
one word
that
for.
this beard you have, is it
One
in
second.
righteousness?
The Christ keeps.
This your beard, is it in righteousness?
The Christ break any
part
law.
of righteousness.
It's part of righteousness. It's in the Bible.
This beard.
Yes.
part of
So
righteousness.
tell me, did Christ break any law? Did Christ break any law? Christ did not break any law. So, so Christ did not, Brother Ali, did Christ break any law? in the
actually,
Bible? He did not. So, if he did
can I
not
just
break
read
law,
you one?
did Christ wear the beard?
This is 2 Samuel 10 and 4. It says,
Wait 1 second.
Wherefore Hanun took David's servants and shaved off one half of their beards and cut off their garments in the middle, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. When they told it unto David, he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed. And the king said, Tarry at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. Yeah, so it's a shame. So it's a shame to not have a beard.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are absolutely right. I read in the Bible as well. As many
But why
times.
don't you have the understanding of what that was given?
Because they were sent with the beard
What did
Yeah.
God say?
to go.
He says,
Yeah.
"Be
That's
follow
to
me,
do
and
before the
then
people
follow
think
me."
they are betrayed. They
Christ.
call
So that's
their
telling you that
embarrass
everything
them.
Christ is
Embarrass them.
that
That's why Solomon said them they should go there so that the beard to grow like the way they are.
You know, brother, thank you for that scripture you bring up. Wait, you know, that is why Christianity, this is why all Christianity,
Is it not the reason why
you know,
he said they should take
you
them
see
down
what he's
so that
saying.
the baby grow?
You see, it's simple answer to it. Okay, why would the king, the people is send on a message, and the people molest them, you know, they take off their beards, and they have and call their something in the buttocks, and they are coming back to their land. If it's lawful, you know, for them not to have beards, won't the king say, okay, go back to your house and let the beards grow? Because that land is the land of the Most High. This is why he said, no, go out of the country until when your beard grows, then come back. You know, let me tell you, brother, you know, because Christianity, you people doesn't have knowledge. You know, you people are just lying about. You know, you are destroying innocent people.
You from home before came here now, isn't it?
Yes.
Your wife and your children, they are at home. Then now, enemy met you here. Example, then they tear half of your trouser,
Yeah.
throw it down, and you left half naked.
What does that got to do with people that
And people know you the way you are before came to preaching. If harassment come to you like that, someone will try to dress you nicely before go back home, isn't it? You don't go half naked like that, isn't it?
Yeah, but this isn't closed. They
Go,
go.
I'm giving you an example.
Go, let him
The
go.
people they are-
Let's see
because
where it's going to
it's
land.
an embarrassment.
Okay.
The people they can beat them and take all, but they didn't take all.
We will just go and what do you
No,
want
but-
to land?
No, not to go. This simple understanding.
Let me,
People,
you know,
you misunderstanding.
let
the
me
Bible.
tell you, brother.
Instantly.
Let me tell you,
We pray
brother.
for them.
Your God does not hear the prayers of a sinner.
Thank you.
God does not hear the
You
prayer
are
of a
beard.
sinner.
Even the beard you have,
Well,
we pray for you that
you people hate
I
God.
don't stand
You
against
hate
your
God.
beard.
You know,
The beard, I don't stand against it.
Get your Bible. He
I
said,
don't get
he doesn't believe
I'm
that
not-
Jesus is a virgin birth.
He's not
This is
a
why I
virgin.
said the
Then
grace.
read it.
He didn't believe. He said he didn't believe.
Yeah.
Show me. They run away.
why are you running?
You don't believe that he's a virgin.
Where is the-
Show me.
how were you born?
Show me.
How are you born? How are you born?
A virgin. Oh, our people are so much in error, man.
You know one thing I do see though, I see a side where there's a side where you're following the Bible or you're following the religion in actually a literal sense to say this is what this says and this is what we're doing. Whereas more other people are taking it in terms of them. They take other Christians that I've met. They take it in the sense of okay, yeah, this is what it says, but we'll do what we
This is
feel
what we
kind
feel.
of thing.
Emotional.
And the reason why, personally, kind of has been someone on the outside looking at it, the reason why I think is if you're to actually follow in a literal sense, it's very tough. It's very tough.
To be honest, I do agree
tough
with
to
you.
be serious about it. Like,
I
it's
do
very
agree with
tough. Nobody wants to follow anything literally because you kind of see that with every other. There's this new age spirituality that a lot of people are getting into where we see exactly what it says. But then we say, no, but this is what I feel.
Okay,
And
can I quickly stop you? What did you just say about feeling?
Yeah.
Thought. This is the book of Jeremiah. This is what the most I talk about feeling. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9. It says the heart is deceitful above all things desperately wicked. Who can know it? You understand me? So why is it say the heart is deceitful? Because everything that men do, they do it through emotion, feel. I just feel like, oh, the spirit's all over me. Oh, mushy feeling. That's not what it. See, the law, right, is what we need to go by. If you start to go by your own feeling, look at the society. If everybody, they say that we think thousands of things a day. If everybody put their thoughts on the table and apply to the society, this is what you have: rape, murder, stealing, killing, lies, bestialism, homosexual. Oh, I feel like homosexual today. Oh, I feel like gay today. Oh, I feel like gay tomorrow. I'm going to be a gay tomorrow. That's a feeling too. The Most I say, if a man lie with another man, both of them shall be put to death. That is a logic, because why? The Most High is righteous. And again, the Most High is showing us that, wait, if a man keep lying with a man, where's that covenant that says, be fruitful and multiply? See? They go against the word of the Heavenly Father. Then church say that everyone is welcome. No, you're not welcome until you change your mindset.
Then they said, okay, yeah, God loved the sinner but hate the sin. You know? But how God will say, okay, yeah, who say, gave that, or say, okay, thou should not commit adultery. You know, it's a law. Like in this land now, okay, that is a yellow line on there. They say you should not park there. And you're driving, you see yellow line, you park there. What will happen to you? You get ticket, you analyze.
You see, our people are, you're right. Because our people are so, you see, our people don't have the fear of the Most High. Look, they fear the white man. If the white man says, when you're driving, you need to have a seatbelt, guess what they do? They have a seatbelt. When the Most High say, keep the Sabbath, they say, oh no, now we're keeping Sunday. You understand what I mean? So that's all wrong. So
But they don't actually keep Sunday anyway.
Yeah, they don't even keep it either. The problem is, they don't keep it either. They still go and sell and buy and go dancing and go shopping and see cook. Now let's see what the Bible says. What the prophet says is very right, because they say, oh, God loves sinner, he hates the sin. Well, when a man kills another man, do you go and arrest the sword, or do you arrest the one that killed the man?
You arrest them. Okay.
Exactly. So how can God love sinner and he hates the sin? Nobody can arrest sin, because it's something that's is a virtuous thing. Now let's see what God says about sinners. This book of Amos chapter 9 verse 10, it says, all the sinners of my people shall what? Why, if God loves sinner, why does he say all the sinners of my people shall die? Death is a good thing? Death is a curse. So all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake or not prevent us. So
covered by the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, blood of Jesus don't cover you when you go and commit adultery.
You know.
Yeah, but that's kind of been the that's kind of been the way. And to be honest, because it's that way, it lets us get away with a lot of bad things.
Criminality, brother.
Yeah,
criminality.
This is what we see.
Yeah.
This is what's happening.
Because
you go around and you sleep with people's women. I know, God is going like.
I'm under grace.
Yeah, like
don't judge me.
Yeah, don't judge
Only
me.
God can judge me. That's Tupac.
I hate that one so much.
That's Tupac, man.
That one. So when people say that don't judge, only God can judge.
But anyway, that's not true, because Jesus said that the apostles would judge the 12 tribes of
There
Israel.
you go. There you go. So if no one, in fact, if no one can judge these people, how could we go out and preach the word when the word is all about judgment of the Most High? Brother, keep the commandment of the Most High according to the Bible. Not Islam, brother. Islam, Christ will destroy Islam. It's in the Bible. Wait. Islam, even all the people you're following, Christ says he's going to destroy them.
But anyway, you have to stay under the Arabs if you're Muslim.
Yeah, that's why he's a slave to them now.
Yeah.
You see, they're taking their slave away.
That brother, when he speaks, you can hear that he's got a lot of fire in him. But yeah, it's some people have got a lot of light in them.
But
the light is,
brother, what is the light? The light is the commandment. If he has a lot of life in him, but he's not speaking according to the commandment of the Most High, the light is in darkness.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you. I will prove it to you.
Yeah.
Let's prove it. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 8. Let's see what God says about one talking about the light. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. It says, to the law and to the testament. If this, you say he speak a lot, right? He has passion, right? If they speak not according to this word, that means if they speak with passion, it is because there is no what in them. So if there's, what is the opposite of light? There you go. He's speaking in darkness.
Proverbs 6.
You see? So if he has a lot of Proverbs 6, 6:23, right? The light is actually the commandment and the law, and it's going to show you now. Proverbs 6:23 tells you the lamp and the light are the commandments, are the law.
Book of Proverbs chapter 6 verse 23.
Uh-huh.
For the commandment is a lamp,
For the commandment is a lamp,
and the law is light,
and the law is light.
and the proofs of instruction are the way to life.
There you go, self-explanatory.
You are correct.
Yeah,
So
self-explanatory.
can I ask you something? So if, for example, like him, can a person be? Because if we're talking about the law, basically, I'm sure in the Muslim law they kind of follow the same law of Moses, no?
No, not really.
No, brother, look, if they follow the law of Moses, I questioned them. They've all asked their imam. They never came back to me. I say, wait, Moses kept the Sabbath. Where's Muhammad keeping the Sabbath in the Quran?
Oh, it's a Friday, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I get what you mean. But I mean, yeah. I know
There's
what
no
you
way
mean.
around it,
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
So that means
I
he
know
broke
what you
the
mean.
law.
Yeah.
So that means he doesn't really follow Moses as said. He only said it so he can get credibility for Quran. Because if he used a man like Moses, wow, everybody, wow. So he used it as a credibility to back up his religion. But we know that according to that is a lie. Then the Quran says that
Did you ever get an answer for that? Why
they never came back
why
to
they
me,
use the Friday, not
brother.
the Saturday?
You see, this is why we know that you
That's
cannot.
actually a good question.
Yeah, because you can't defeat the truth. Because they say that, Muhammad followed Moses' work. For you to follow somebody, that means you have to do exactly they do. If they take one step, you have to take that same step. So,
I was just going to say, we asked that question, and apparently there is in the Quran somewhere where the change of the day came down from Allah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that they do Friday.
Oh, so that was the reason.
Yeah, it is in there where they say.
Yeah, too cold, man. Yeah, I've got to shoot. So we'll talk later, yeah? Alright.
I don't want you to go in.
Yeah, I know. Next time I'll bring a bigger jacket.
Yeah, bro.
How's your trip?
Oh, I've never seen.
Yeah, no.
Praises. Wow.
When he came, you left. When he left.
Yeah. Wow.
Alright.
We'll
catch
talk
up.
about it.
Yeah?
Okay, brother, Jacob. Yeah.
Don't forget to give my love to you.
No, I will.
Yeah. My greetings also. Yeah. Okay, shalom.
Hey, brother, Jacob.
Definitely look into that one. Yeah,
Well, which one?
why you say that? Because I've never actually thought of that question. But
Yeah. You know, because you have to ask questions because there's
like
a
what the
lot.
difference is there.
And there's still some other things like we've got to the book of Leviticus chapter 26 verse 1. You know, because it's the law of Moses, you know. He said, let me read it for you also to take to me. You know, Leviticus chapter 26. You know, I will read it for you, then you yourself to reason it. Because they say they love Moses, they believe in Moses. See what now Leviticus 26 It says, He shall make you no idols, no graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall you set up an image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God. This is what Moses saying, and they said they believe in Moses. You know, in Mecca, what do they have? Leviticus 26:1. You know, then they said they
There's
believe.
no Bible in it.
Yeah, this is why they believe in Moses.
Yeah.
Where if they go to Mecca, you know, they go 7 times round the Kaaba stone, and all of them they go kissing it. If you ask, they say no, they don't do it. Yeah, but even if they don't need it, why do they stand it up there?
Because what I find is that you see me, like I read Bible from time to time. I'm not a Christian myself, but I read Bible from time to time. And what I've found is that a lot of Christians don't actually read the Bible. That's one thing I found. Like a lot of them actually don't. It's little things like that. When you do come across them, you're like, oh, okay, that's so. I need to ask you, brother, something. So, what do you brothers think of the New Testament? Like, what is your view of the New Testament?
We don't use the word think. We go by the Bible.
Okay, wait, can I just say something?
And the reason, I mean, before you give me your answer, the reason I'll say this is, I mean, from sort of like learning a bit of history and things like that, and so like Paul coming into the picture. I've personally, and I'll say personally, I've always felt like he came. I felt like he came with something. He presented something. Like I personally am not sure whether to take his message seriously yet.
Okay, can I say something?
That's my view on the.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, when Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai, was on the face of the earth, yeah, where was he reading from? Was New Testament reading there?
It was Paul, isn't it, mostly?
Paul and all of them was New Testament written.
Yes.
No, it was.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't written. No, because he was in the old
law.
So he's coming from the
he
old
wasn't
law.
a Christian either. He was.
There you go.
So it's the old law they were teaching.
Yeah.
You know, because when they say New Testament, it was only the new era of the Greeks, right? You know, and during the time of the apostles, what they teach is the same thing Christ was teaching.
Yeah.
You know, this is why Hebrew 8:8. You will see it. You know, because God doesn't change. You know, is this why?
That's what I've felt when I've read the New Testament. I felt like a lot of things that would have never been accepted in the Old Testament, it's almost as if it got watered down, or it's almost as if there's people that came in and said, you know what, that's how I felt. Like, I felt like a lot of things that have never seen the light of day in the Old Testament started being accepted in the New.
You see what you just said, it's a good thing you said, but if you permit me, I'll just quickly mention that. You see, when the brother was talking about Old and New Testament, where is he reading from? Basically, you see this classification that comes in. This confusion was started by the Europeans, the Western nation.
I feel like,
where, according to the Bible, there's no way you can say, oh, you can partition the Bible to say, oh, this is the Old Testament, this is the New. So all the Israelites, we don't see the New Testament or the Old Testament. We see it as the book of the prophecy. So that's why if you go into the book of Revelation, chapter 19, it says the Spirit of Christ is the Spirit of what? The Spirit of prophecy. The whole Bible is the book of prophecy.
Okay.
So, but when the Europeans now bring classification in, people start to get confused. Before there was no confusion. And so when Isaiah came in his time to prophesy, he didn't say all the things that's been said before him, that's the old, now from me is the new. It's man that put classification on them, which they shouldn't have done. There's no such thing as a New Testament. Well, there's a New Covenant, but there's no such thing as a New Covenant. But what is a covenant mean? It means agreement. But according to the Bible, it's an agreement that was sealed by oath of blood, animal sacrifice. So, am I making sense? Right. So I'm going to read this more, brother, so it will give you more enlightenment on this. This is the book of Hebrews chapter 8, verse 8. It says, finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant. You see that? With the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenants that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
Okay, yeah. You know what he's talking there, you know, because he said a new covenant. You know, the whole covenant is the animal sacrifice. You know, but now he says he's going to make a new covenant with them. Because this new covenant is the one with his son, Christ Jesus, Yahweh Shai. You know, because he laid down his life. You know, because now this is why we don't need to do animal sacrifice anymore. Like when we were telling those brothers there, that what was it that is done away with? It's only the sacrificial law. The other law still stands.
The law still stands.
You see? So this is what Paul was telling us in the book of Hebrews, that he's going to make most I said he's going to make a new covenant, because we've been into different captivities. For example, now, when our people were still in the captivities during the time of Babylonian, you know, when someone commit or did not come for Sabbath, or maybe commit a sin, and we are in slavery, we have really get money, you know, to buy
I'm a soldier, I gotta start what they
sacrifice.
Have some rest, brother.
So most of sacrifice do not fulfill it. So, and again, it got to a time the Levites, you know, they are not doing it diligently, the sacrifice to the Most High. Instead of bringing the well-befitting animal, they bring a lame or blind animal.
Malachi 1:11, right?
To sacrifice to the Most High. And God said no, because that is the fault, part of the fault. This is why I say a new covenant.
Yeah.
That new covenant is the Christ Jesus Christ. Okay? So nothing changes there. This is why the Christians say that, okay, new covenant, New Testament, Old Testament.
So basically, let's take it new, and then literally thrown away the
Okay, but is it talking about Hebrews 10?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you studied? I think you studied the Bible before. Yeah, but
yeah.
let's, yeah.
Is it a political thing to say, you know, the new came in and just thought, you know what?
To get rid of the old.
Yeah.
So, but to identify what is the old?
Yeah.
If the new is coming in, and that new is Christ,
Yeah.
and he shed his blood, what is the old that always shed his blood as well?
But actually, I just got another one.
I'm not sure.
Because you know you're talking about Paul.
Yeah.
So this one's Acts 17 and 10. So obviously Jesus had already died and gone back to heaven, and now Paul's giving them the gospel.
Yeah.
And it says here, and the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews.
Listen to verse 11 now.
These were more noble than those in Thessalonica.
Wait, they were more noble. Why are they noble? He's going to tell you now.
Yeah. In that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so.
There you go. So when you receive the word with the readiness of mind, on top of that you search the scriptures. Guess what the Most High look you? He see you as a noble man. He's there in heaven. He's considered, wow, he's very noble, because he doesn't only receive the word with the readiness of all hearts, right? But he also searched the scriptures, not one day, not 2 days, daily. So we have to study the Bible daily. So what the brother is bringing out is true. Now, how do we need to clarify what we are saying? If we are done studying, we should know that we should ask the question: what is the old that they got rid of?
Yeah.
Should we go to Hebrews 9, 10?
Okay,
You break it down, or we go to 9, 14. There we go. Okay. I'm going to read Hebrew. We're still on Hebrew. You know, we was in Hebrew 8. So let's see what the old is and what the new is. Okay. So because the old covenant is got rid of, and the new is come. Okay. So this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 14.
Let's start from 13.
Let's start from 13. Yeah, brilliant. I can even go 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start from 12. Oh, let's go 11. Let's go 11. 11
Let's
is
go
good. Okay, because I want to go, because if I start neither, you might be confused. Neither blood of goats, right? So let's start from 11. It says, but Christ, right, being come and high priest of good things to come.
That is the shadow of things to come.
That's right. By a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of the building, or not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood.
Okay.
So, Brother Jacob, you want to break that down?
Yeah, because we know Christ came to lay down his life. He's laid down the unblemished blood.
That's correct.
That's correct. Blood, he commit no sin. So this is how he has to lay down his life. Then we see that he said, neither be the blood of goat and calf, but only blood he entered once into the holy place. Because if you go to the Hebrews 10, he will give us the understanding of neither the blood of goat and calf, because that one does not take away the sins perfectly. It's just it's a shadow of things to come. That is why it says it's a shadow of good things to come. Christ is the good things to come, but the animal sacrifice is the shadow of that good thing. That good thing is Christ laying down his life.
Should I go to Hebrew 10?
Okay, let's go to.
Or you want me to continue?
Okay, let's go to 13.
Okay, 13. It says, for if blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of the heifers sprinkling the unclean sanctifies to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, Most High, purge your conscience from the dead works?
What is that dead work? That is that animal sacrifice.
Keep killing it.
That is the dead work.
That makes sense.
Because that dead work, we can get it in Galatians 3:24.
24.
Yes,
23:24.
That is our schoolmaster.
23:24.
That is the schoolmaster. You see.
Yeah. So it says the dead works to serve the living God. When you kill an animal, is he still alive? It's a dead work. So he's not perfect. He's going to tell you that he's not perfect in the next chapter. So, chapter 10, verse 1, it says, for the law, having a shadow of good things to come.
The good things to come is that Christ.
The blood of Christ. Christ and his blood. Perfect tabernacle, right? And it says, and not the very image of the things can never, with those sacrifices
Animal sacrifice.
which they offered year by year, continually make the comers thereunto perfect.
You see,
It doesn't make you
them
perfect.
You see, it's just to keep them in waiting. Keep them in waiting. You know, till when Christ comes. You see, so.
I didn't think that,
So
it makes them perfect.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, verse
So,
4.
okay, verse 4. Let's go to verse 4 now. It says, verse 4. It says, for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sin.
Yeah. Okay, now verse 5.
Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice and offerings thou wouldest not,
He doesn't need all the sacrifice anymore. You see?
but a
These
body
are-
has thou prepared
and
me.
my body you have prepared me.
In burnt offerings, sacrifices for sin that has had no pleasure. It doesn't work for the Most High. He says, then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book.
Stop.
It is
Yeah, stop, sorry. You know, you asked one question before. Yeah, you said whether the New Testament, we have to continue with the New Testament.
That's
You
correct.
know, this is what I wanted to say that no, I come with volume of the
Volume of the book.
totality of the Bible. You know, it's everything in the Bible. You know, because it is the white men who compile
Yeah.
the Bible. They say New Testament, Old Testament, or what? In the olden days, what do they call it? The book of instruction.